Get started. Hi everyone. So welcome to this video wherein I will take you through how you can build up your data pipeline in Databricks. So I will be using the Databricks Community Edition and will be showing you each step wherein I ingest a JSON data file into the catalog, and although there are test tables available in Databricks, which you can use to understand the transformation and other things. Basically, there is a sample data. For example, if I won't go too much detail into how a table looks like within the Databricks. So, can you see that it's an overview? It's an assistant generated overview for this bake house data set, but these are relational tables. I would like to go with something bit uh, difficult, which is using JSON data and then doing transformation on the raw data to create ingest first of all ingesting data into bronze table, then doing transformation for silver and then further gold, and running it in or as an automated workflow wherein you read the data from the catalog and your code lies in your GitHub. So that's how what my process is. It's like automating the workflow instead of manually running the pipeline or manually running the notebook. So it should automatically pick up the latest data using autoloader, and then it should read from the catalog and then ingest into the bronze table and then do transformation and to get a silver layer and then further gold layer, right? So let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is you need to connect your Databricks workspace. So these are just a brief intro about everything in Databricks. This is the workspace wherein you can create your Git folder. Git folder or a normal folder. Normal folder is wherein you can say JSON data transformation, transformation, and a new folder is created. Um, if you go in here, JSON data transformation, a new folder is created, right? Um, and within the folder, you can create a notebook, which is just looks very similar to what we have. And then you can select your cluster, what cluster you want to select. For example, I select serverless. So serverless is the most recent one wherein you optimize your cost so that you are not charged for unnecessary usage. It's like optimization of your cost. So I would not go into the notebook here first. I would rather show you first how you can connect your Databricks workspace to your GitHub account. So basically what you need to do is you go to settings, you go to developer, no, go to linked accounts, and then you can add your Git credential here, GitHub, link a Git account. So I will use this method to link a Git account, authorize Databricks. So I can directly connect with my GitHub. I don't have to even use the PAT token. And after doing this, I am able to connect with my GitHub. Now, or you can use the PAT token as well. Up to you. PAT token can be generated using GitHub. I won't be showing this in the tutorial. All right, let me show you how to create a PAT token as well. So if you go to the profile settings in here, so and if you go to let me just have a look. GPG keys. So this is different, not this one. And developer settings, go in here. So you can create a pad token from here, right? So it depends on whether you want a fine grained token or a token classic. So you can create a new token which you can then again use within GitHub, within Databricks to connect to your GitHub. The whole purpose of me connecting with GitHub is I do not want to um, I want to keep my code in GitHub and pick up the code from there and apply the code onto an existing table within the catalog and then do the transformation and then create your silver table as well as gold table, and then further create views which then can be used for your dashboard. So that there are other things as well. As you can see, you can select your compute as well. I'm not going to go into detail about all these ones because this is already selected for me. Since it's a community edition, so I am not going, and you can always change. If it's a paid edition, then it would be very different. Like you can create your own warehouse, and SQL editor is basically running SQL queries. For example, I want to just have a SQL query, right? And I just want to, for example, I'm not sure what table exists, so select asterisk from. So I have a workspace, right? This is workspace. So information schema, or I can select this system samples, like samples, and then you have, let me go to catalog. When you are not sure of what to select, you can go to catalog and then see in samples, you can see this AccuWeather, right? So you can see multiple of them are there, right? Or maybe you can see the New York taxi dataset, trips, right? So what you can see is you can also use this copy full name. It copies the table name along with the schema name, right? You can see the sample data. So in order to see the sample data, I think this is the assistant feature in Databricks which helps you to understand the dataset. So I can select the compute, so start and close. The moment you switch between the tabs, you would be able to see the sample data. So it takes a bit of time for your compute to run. So this is the properties of a table you can see, right? And the best part about it is you can see who created it, whether it's active or not, whether it's managed or unmanaged, and the history of the table as well. So table history is not available for sample catalog, but if you have your own table and if you write and update the table, you will have history. And the best part is lineage. You can always see what is the source lineage, what is the target lineage. You can always see the graph, right? So what I was doing is health variety. Is it like let's see this one, right? So it also gives you a detail about what is this table about, right? And you can always see this icon, right? Whether it's a table or a view, like I can show you, right? There are so many of them, right? They all are tables, but you can create a view on the top of table. Let me show you this one. Let's copy this and come back to SQL editor. So your SQL editor will start from there. That's the best part. You don't have to even save it, and you can see what is in there. You run it, attach and run. You allow the Databricks workspace, you attach the cluster and run it. So so you can see the rows now, and patient, year of birth, instant admit source standard ID, type of, so these are the columns, right? And also you can see the cat schema of the table, right? So what you can do is you can see the schema. If you are not sure of where you can see in catalog, you can see from here as well, right? So you describe the table and see in here, and what you can select the line and you can just run it. So that's how you get the schema. And the best, I think this has a lot of like metadata, right? It also explains what's happening with each column, right? For example, HVID. So it says the health variety universal identifier for the patient as determined by the health variety matching engine, right? So this is in here, and there are multiple columns. You can, it's different for each data set. I think that's for a business use case. So I wouldn't go too much into the details because I am mostly focused on explaining the functionality of Databricks rather than deep diving into what data set is doing. So, and with the jobs and pipeline, right? This is in where you can create your job and like for example you have a job, right? You want to create a job, so what you can do is you can attach a notebook, um, and then you can even run it. I'll show you how it works. I think most of the people don't even show this, they just show you on the surface. I don't want to do that. I just want to show you what actually works in Databricks and what doesn't, right? So this is there. Like now I will use Claude to use the existing data set within Databricks, or I can use a JSON data as well, but I would go with the existing table within the data set within the Databricks. So it's easier for us initially to understand how things work. Then we can go from there. So I would just use this table and say, this is a table in Databricks, and I want to do bronze, silver, and gold things on it. So let me bring up my another screen. Sorry, just give me a moment. So this is my another screen for Claude. I am using a free edition. I mean, you can use a paid edition and you can directly connect with API and it can make changes. Like for example, I'll show you where you can do it. Uh, so settings, upgrade plan, right? You can get apps and extension like settings. If you go to settings, 100%, it's just like with, I think, yeah, your accounts, somewhere in there where you can actually use the organization ID and everything. So like you can have general, let me see. So if it's a paid one, you can just use an API key. I'm not gonna reveal everything in here, but connectors, right? So more, it's pretty much same with everything, right? You can connect with your Google Drive, GitHub, or Gmail. You can even read your emails. What else you need, right? Claude Code, like let's see. Claude Code is an agentic coding, so you can use the Claude Code manager authorization. The moment you pay for it, you'll get a token, authorization token, which you can use directly in Databricks. Um, so let's get started. So this was just an initial introduction because, I mean, I just wanted to show you what happens in Databricks. So I'll start with, I have a table. I have, I will not write the code by myself. I will just use the existing Spark SQL code from this Claude and apply the transformation in over there, and would show you like how things actually work in terms of an automated job, which may run um, daily, weekly, monthly, depending on your requirement. I have a table from Databricks Community Edition and wanted to apply the Medallion architecture on it. Basically, I have bronze table. I will call it as bronze table, although it may not be bronze, but I will bronze table do transformations for silver, for silver table, silver table, and then further for gold table, and create views in each. I will also want to create views each time, so that create views for then I can show you silver and gold. What is the difference between a view and a table? So this is the data set, right? Let's see, let's see how it tells us what does it provide. Basically it would provide you the PySpark code. So that's not an issue, right? As long as you understand SQL, it doesn't like harm you in any case. So it will create a full notebook, which I am gonna use within the Databricks. I mean, you can do it on your own as well, but it would require you to write all the steps, what sort of transformation you need to do based on your understanding of the data set. So my goal here is again to show the Databricks functionality and where do things go wrong actually, which are the main bottlenecks. Because I mean, things work fine, that's good, but when they break, that is the pain point for the people. That is something I want to highlight on instead of I mean, there are videos available, but again, I don't think so. They give you a lot of value because uh, they. So this is actually written in Spark.sql, Spark.sql. So this is a notebook. It doesn't matter for me. It's fine because I'm just gonna use so Medallion Health, whatever. Like you can choose the Databricks. So it doesn't. This what I'm gonna do here is. Open in Xcode to use Databricks, go to workspace, upload the py file, right? You can directly, I want to have a SQL code, right? Don't want to have this because I want to keep it simple for people to understand how it actually works, or maybe just copy the code and then I'll show you what's the difference between SQL and the, let's copy this. And what you will do is go to, I'll just use my existing notebook and then I'll just move it to this is a new query, right? So this is a notebook. So that's the difference between a query editor SQL statement and a notebook. So up to you whether you want to like if I copy in here, right? So it has copied everything in one cell. Is it a good idea to keep everything in one cell? I don't think so. So it has explained everything. Oh, Databricks notebook source. So what I'm gonna do is I will try to break this down. What I will do is to optimize things. I want to split the code between multiple cell, right? Split the code between multiple cell, so it's easier for us to see the output, right? To split the code between multiple cells, so it's easier for us, so that we actually do what we need to do instead of just copying and pasting. So I will just or and what you can do is if you are like it's you can either just delete this cell, right, and it's gone, and you can then just add a code cell from here. So it depends on whether you want to mark down text or like, and you also have a Genie code, right? Genie code is like an assistant, so it's same as an AI model helping you to write code, right? So up to you, right? I am just using I will just delete this cell, and I can also use Genie to write the code. But again, I want to take the help of Claude and see its effectiveness instead of using the existing assistant within the Databricks. So that is something I would do. And yes, let's see how it goes. Because I want to make the most out of an AI model. So that I have to do minimal task. So this is the best effort you can have in terms of saving your time and also or there is one thing I would show you later on where does the model goes wrong in terms of its code, because it often goes wrong. So it does not understand most of the time the underlying use case, and it just assumes and starts hallucinating and produces a code which may not work for you, But since I'm just using it for, let's see, so it has now split it into different cells, right? So now how can I copy them? Is it open sidebar? So let me open this in Xcode. Let's copy this, right? Copy everything of it, and or maybe just open an Xcode. I do have an Xcode. I don't use Xcode much because I think it's for other purposes. So I'm not using Xcode at all. Want to see how it goes. Open an Xcode. So this is how it looks like in Xcode, right? So what I do is it's basically a like copy, and then what you can do is you can come over here. So can I upload this? Let me ask this, no? Can I upload the above file? Upload the above file directly as a notebook in Databricks workspace? Because if that is the case, then I don't even have to worry about splitting the Databricks workspace. All right, let's do that, So instead of copying into one cell, let's go to workspace. Here you can directly upload, right? Upload. It says, what does it say? Let me have a look. Left side will navigate to the folder where you want. Import, right? Import is there. Let me see. Workspace. So, yeah, it is something, right? So, can I import folder? There is create a file. I can create a file, but can't see where I can import. Let me have a look. Sorry, just give me a moment. Import is not there. I can't see the import. And maybe like go to ingestion somewhere, right? I'm using, I have to tell the cluster is running. Go to your Databricks workspace, navigate to the folder where you click the, so you can, what is this kebab menu? Oh, all right. So you can just directly, what you can do is go back. You can click in here and import. Yes, that's correct. So what we do is I'll save this in here, save this file somewhere, save this file in, want to save this file somewhere, right? Let me just go to full screen, go to file, save. It should actually pop up the window, right? I don't know, it should show me up where it is, right? So like this is in here. Okay, like what I will do is I'll just ask Claude to directly provide me the py file, right? Can you provide me the py file? You provide me the py file which I can directly import. So let me just copy and I'll just paste it in my downloads for now. I'll come up over here. So let's go to your downloads. It's already there, right? So I can see the Python code notebook is already there. You don't have to download it. So what I will do is, I'm not sure why it's so slow. So what I will do is, I will just import this notebook, browse. You can just do through a URL as well. So I will just show you how it works. Okay, import this file. And if I go in here, I can see the notebook in there, right? And so I don't even have to worry about so many things. So I've just imported the file health variety claims, but you would still need to make changes because your DB name is Medallion Health. I'm not sure. Let me check. Is it Medallion Health? Not necessarily. Health variety is the so this is your database name, right? So what you do is you go back to I can open this in a new tab as well, right? Because I don't want to um, go back and forth time and again. So I'll just go to this notebook, show you. So I can just copy the name, and this is I'm doing in like I'm not. So what you do is I'm not sure, like because you never know, right? Because this is the main thing, samples dot health variety. So you go one by one, right? So first is just a markdown cell. So you run this. You can run this, right? The first cell. So what we are doing is we are just importing the functions and then the types, like whether it's a string type, integer type, it doesn't matter. Now I just see whether my database name is correct or not. Since it already exists, I wouldn't need to create it. Now it will show me the database name. So what I would first do is I would ingest the data from the table itself, which already exists, and also you can see the performance at each cell, what's actually happening, right? So let's hide this one because at this point of time, I'm not interested in. So after running this, you create a table. I just use that table as a bronze table. I'm not gonna load it into another table because that's a waste of time. And you can see, right, the schema. So you are just printing the schema of the bronze data frame. There are multiple columns, HVID, claim ID, claim type, date service, diagnosis code, string, patient year. So I'm using a combination of Claude as well as Databricks to create an automated data pipeline, which shows me the Medallion architecture, starting by ingesting the table into a bronze table and then doing the necessary transformations to get a silver table and then further aggregation for the gold table. And I also create the two views. So I will show you at each step. So what you are doing here is write to a bronze delta table, right? So you are overwriting and override the schema true and the bronze claims, let's do this as well. So I'm just using everything. I have not written the code. So now you can see there is a user does not have create table on schema, right? I do not have the permission to create table. So let me see request permissions. What does it show? So what I need to do is let me ask the assistant, right? How can I create this table, right? How can I create this table? So everything is there for you, right? Create the below table, right? Below table, below table. So it will write the code for me. So it will just provide me instructions what I can do, right? And now I can accept it, right? So there will be a bit of change required each time. So let me see, what does it say now? So user does not have a create table on schema privileges, So what do I do is I go back. Let me see if can I really create a table or not, because that is there, right? So I see is add data, create a catalog or my workspace, right? Default information schema, and I want to create a table in here. Let me see. Add data, create a catalog. Can I actually do catalog name? Catalog is the first layer of Unity catalog. So I will say like data engineering, data pipeline uh, sample, something like this. Data pipeline 2026, something like this to make it. I'll create a catalog, right? So view catalog. Now I have a catalog, this is the one, right? I created my own catalog, right, system. And can I create a table in that? Let me see, create a table in that, create a table in there. No data. So let me say, just give me a moment. Can I create a schema, right? You have to create a schema again, right? So this is for, um, I would say prod dot something like um, EG engineer March 26, something like this, and external location, no, nothing. I'll just create like this, right? This is my new schema. Name cannot include period or space or forward slash, name cannot include period or space. Engineer, engineer March 2026, something like this, right? And I'll create this. Why is it showing, prod? I would say like engineer March 2026, right? Like this. And I'll create this. I can create a schema. Now within this schema, you can, right? Yeah, this is in here. This is my schema, right? Now what you can do is you can create a table here. Now I would be able to create a table 100%. Like let me go back. Um, so database name is prawns.claims. So I would change it to something else. And what I would do is I would copy a table. So I would just create a table in here. So what I would do is I'll use this schema and I'll go to SQL editor. Sorry, I'll just open it in a new page wherein what I would do is I just use it. It doesn't matter. I'm so showing you at each step wherein there is a problem, right? Create table. I will just name the same table as it is so that I am not facing a lot of issues. For example, this one, right? Claims, health variety, this table name, right? This one. I would do is, and I will use my own data, this schema within. I will just say, oh, please create this one in here, and like So create tables like, I'll just name this table as like this one, right? So this is so that we don't have to worry about anything, right? I don't want to worry about anything. This one, right? I'll just copy this table. I would say just create like this, right? Samples variety. If it is wrong, synthetic. So what I would do is I'll just run this command. It will create a table just like that. It is done, right? Now what I would do is I would copy all the data from the sample table onto my table so that I am able to use it, right? That's the whole point. Insert into, so select a strip from this, right? Let's, and done. Not like, I have to remove the word like. So let's run this and you have all the data right in there. Done. So what I would do now is I would go here. So as I can see, this was actually, the database was samples.health variety. I don't want to use that anymore. I want to use my own catalog and the schema. So I would just copy this in here and I would just say, oh, just remove this thing. Oh, and that's where the problems occur. I'm showing you in each step, right? So now it will show, oh, my database has changed, right? Now I would use the table, this one, my own table, instead of using the previous one, which was causing an issue for me, right? Because it has a privilege. So you have to understand the data governance as well. I'm just showing you. So this is there. And now what you would do is you can see the schema, right? Now what I would do is, now it's saying bronze claims, right? Now I would use the same thing, like let's run it. It will run 100%. It will run 100%, right? So now each of my tables would be created in under my catalog and my schema. I would show you, like let it complete first, and I would show you, like, can you go now back? If I go to engine March, right? I can see the bronze claim table is there, right? So this is the table which I copied from the sample table. This is the table which I've created through, and you can see the details, right? Um, it is created by me on that specific time, and I will also show you the history of the table, right? In the sample table, you cannot see the history of the table, but herein you can see the history of the table, wherein you have a version, and you can see the lineage, right? So currently there is no lineage data, but it's fine, insights, you can get insights on the table, right? No usage at all. Let's go ahead, right? Now what I would see is I'll do a sanity check. Number of rows which I have in that, these are the number of row counts. Again, do another sanity check wherein what you are checking is first 5 rows, right? How does the data look like? Does it look good? So you can see this, like, this is like, yeah, you can see the data in there. Now what you do is you have a silver layer wherein you clean the data and conform it, and then load the bronze and normalized column names, right? That's what you do. So what you're doing is you're creating a silver column. We are making some transformations to the, what you are doing is you're converting it to row and then replacing the empty with this underscore in the bronze columns, right? Wherever you see it. Let's run this first and see what is happening in there. So admit diagnosis, claim ID, you have added an underscore to the column names. That's what you have done first. Now you cast the date columns. So silver DF, you create a silver DF, right? And so if you can want to understand what is with column, it is always used to make a transformation, right? So what is you are doing is service date, right? It's a date type column. what you are doing it, if column is service date, and if service is actual column, and if date of service, if date of, else if literally none, right? So you can understand this and you can change it to your SQL code as well, up to you, right? So I would not go much into the and then you are casting your paid amount to a double type as well as the allowed amount to a double type and the quantity to an integer type, right? So this is done. Now you're standardizing string columns, right? So yeah. So what you are doing is you are standardizing it. For you are trimming the claim type, like you are trimming the like characters if they are at the beginning, upper. Like let us see. Let us do all the transformation and see what is happening, right? You can also see silver DF, right? You can see at each step you can just run a spark.sql, and what you can do is select asterisk from silver DF, right? Silver DF. You can say this. Let's see. Go up there. Sorry to see spark.sql. Yeah. So you have to use this, right? You have to use this format each time so that you are able to see the table, right? I just it wasn't there. I just wanted to see how the data has changed. So this is something I wanted to do, right? If that maybe just what you do is remove this, copy this in here, no, silver DF. I want to see the like what I would say is I want to see the data in the silver DF. I would just ask this. I want to see the data in the silver DF. Why to worry so much about it? To see the sample data data in silver DF, silver DF. You know, I mean, there is an assistant, so you don't have to worry about it. So you can just say, right, like this is how you optimize your time. I'm not worried about the syntax. I'm basically worried about how things actually work. So you can see now, right? At each step, you can see the transformations which are happening with the display command. So that's what it is. Let's go into the next cell. Filter invalid records, right? Each step you can see if patient ID is not null, you display it. If it is null, or the paid amount is greater than or equal to zero, so this is what you do. So what you do is just copy this here to check what is happening, right? Because I don't know what has happened in the transformation, or just add this sort of code to see, what has changed, right? I can't see anything at this moment. What is it? So no rows returned 50. So it hasn't returned any row yet. So it's fine. Let's just remove it. Maybe that filter condition is leading to deduplicate and add audit columns, right? Dedupe this. So silver DF drop duplicates with column. Silver low timestamp is actually the current timestamp, and source table is your. So again, you have to make a change in here. You have to be careful with this because you will be making mistakes. You have to be careful because otherwise it will fail. So going back in here, because it's actually reading from the samples. I don't want it to read it from samples. So let's see. Done. Final silver rows, dedupe rows are this. Let's see. Now you write this as a silver delta table, right? Sample synthetic. What is sample synthetic? Claims sample synthetic, right? I see the data in here, so it has a lot of rows, right? I don't have to worry about the rows. So it already, now I'm creating a silver view, right? Now what I can do is, now I can go back to my silver table, right? In here, which is, there is a silver claims table as well as view, right? So you can directly read from the view, depending on, let's, and also it shows the code for a view, right? It is actually a SQL statement. Let's go back in here to see what data lies within the table. Let's see this. So actually, I'm showing you everything what you would learn. So there is no data returned. I have no idea why it hasn't returned any data. So let me go back to the silver claims, right? Which is not good, right? If there is no data in the table, there is no transformation happening. So I would just go back to see, why there has been no transformation. Let me see this one. So there is no, and now what I can do is, I think at one step there is a step wherein this is the step where you have zero after deduping. It has reduced your rows to zero, right? What I can do now is, I can go to the history of the table. I would do what I would do is, and I would restore it to a previous version, because I actually like this one, right? So there is a history here, right? So at now there is only one history, right? So what is happening is I have to go back again. I would truncate the table and I would avoid that step. So I would go to the top first, silver DF, right? So what you do is you have to see this. You have created the bronze claim, right? Okay. Let's run this step again, wherein you are writing onto the silver table. This is done. Numeric columns you have casted. That's fine. I would avoid running that step because there is some sort of filter which is leading to no records. And now what you have is I can see there are records in here, right? I can see the records in here, right? Rows after filtering. So this is the main issue, right? This is causing the problem, not the other one. Let me run this. Deduping. So the filtering command is actually leading. Let's drop this thing, because I want some rows in my silver table. I don't want to go to the business logic. I just want to show you how it works. So it doesn't matter if you rerun the record, rerun this cell, because it's like an idempotent data pipeline where you overwrite as many as times as you can, and you will see there is a change happening, right? The moment I write this, and if I go to the silver claims history, right, and you refresh it, you would see a new version of it. You will see another version of it, right? So there is a new version, right? So you can also restore your table to a previous, like it's like a time travel, right? So you can go back in time and restore the data, which is again a different topic. I wouldn't go too much into detail, but again, this is something which I'm trying to show you, like most of the things which actually work. Um, and it took me a lot of time to even go through these things. But I want to help people out there so that they can also have a good understanding of Databricks and what they can actually do with Databricks, right? Let's move on to the view, right? You can again create because there is a create or replace statement. Even if the view exists, it doesn't matter. It will still create the view, right? Like now, if I go to my SQL editor, right? If I run this statement now, I can see there is a data, right? Now I have my view has a data because the underlying table has a data. If you run this one, right, by default it will select the 1,000 records because you can see here, right, 1,000. You can change it to more than 1,000 records. I don't want to do it because it um, consumes your cluster, and it increase your cost. If you just want to see the 1,000 records, it's good enough for you to understand the data set. This is done. Now we do a quality check in here, right? So this is there. So yeah, so you see how many unique patients are there, unique procedures are there, average paid amount, earliest service, latest service, this sort of thing, right? And then you have a goal table, right? Patient summary. Let's create a goal table data frame. At each step, you can see the number of records being filtered. Now you create a table, gold, right? And now if I go to my catalog, right, I can see there is a gold table being created. If I refresh it, so now I can see in my, there's a gold table patient summary, right? Although this table is empty, it doesn't have any data at the moment. It doesn't have any data. It would be empty, null, right? Just a sanity check data. Let's go back to our code, like monthly spend, right? How much a patient is spending monthly on their health checkup and all those sort of things. So, and then you override. There is no data returned, so definitely there is something happening. I have to check. Does it even have data? This table. Let us check. Because due to some transformation, it may not show that. It may filter out records and it may not show the data which you actually need to know. And I would just say it's fine. You even if you don't do anything, like if you just leave, run it. So I can see total claims, distinct procedures, but definitely there hasn't been a much of a change. So it's just basically order by. So what am I doing in here, right? So I'm what like it has input data is inserted because each time I'm just counting the claim count, unique patient, total paid, average paid, right? Um, like procedure cost roll up. Let's run this one. Like you can see, right? For each procedure code, there is a usage count and the patients affected, right? Now I would again write this onto the delta table. Has it written? Let me see, and with each change, I can see, like I can rerun this now, and you would see more rows populating. I'm not sure, right? It depends on how am I looking the data set. So, and now I create a view and let's run this. So, so there are different views for different requirements. If I just close, I don't even need to even refresh. Gold patient summary, view. I think you do need to refresh, or you can do it refresh from here. So you have multiple tables. Gold procedure course is a different table, right? And it's a different table based on the transformations we have made. So this is there, and monthly spend is a different table, right? Which has a different data. So no data in there. Patient summary. Let's see the patient summary. There is only one. Then you have, I don't know why gold monthly spend doesn't have data, no data. So this isn't there. So all these things are done. So it's all in all a full Medallion architecture code wherein you see everything, right? I've created a catalog, then I've created a schema, then I've created those tables within there, then I overrode those tables. What I would do this is now I will create. Um, now I don't want to use as it is. Like one is I just schedule this notebook and rerun it multiple times. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push it to like go to workspace, right? And create a Git folder, right? I want to say, oh, I have this GitHub. I want to put it in the Git repo, right? I have a Git repo. I just want to use it. Like, I want to minimize my effort, to be honest. Like, I want to, for example, as it's a part of data engineering, right? I'm just gonna use this in there. So this is the copy URL to clipboard. I'll see how it works in here because so data engineering, right? So this is there. You can create a data. This may take a few minutes. Fail to clone repo. Repo may be incomplete. Oh, there is a size of the notebook. So what I would do is I would create a new repo instead of using the old one. So what I would do is I would create new repo just for this purpose. Repository name is Medallion Databricks 2026. Just that's it. Visibility is public. Create repo. I don't want to do too much into it. And what I would do is I'll just go to the Medallion Archi DB and no idea why is it like it's there, right? Um, what I wanna do is I wanna have want to code, right? I want to share it. Let's go in here. Repositories are so it's not very difficult. Let me just go in here and collaborators. So I can just share it from here, right? I can just copy the code from in there and come in here. Sorry. So where was it? Sorry, let me just, what I do is I'll just remove this, create a new one. It will create, 100%. Failed to load folder, requested resource was not found. Let me go in here, see what is happening, right? So what I will do is I'll delete this one. I'll just move this to trash. Don't want to keep this one. Move to trash, right? Yeah. And what I would do this one is I would just copy the notebook from here and create a copy. I'll keep two versions of it, clone and browse. Where would I go? Come in here, Medallion DB, right? Clone in here, right? Now I have it here. What I would do is I'll go to the main branch and I will first version something like this, first version. So this is something which I'm showing you. How can you just keep your code somewhere in the repo and rerun it multiple times, right? How to the link to your GitHub account does not have access. An admin of the repo must go here and install Databricks GitHub app on the repo. You must go here. Alternative GitHub account owner can install the app on the account to give access to the account repository. Or maybe what I can do is I can connect this, but this is not working, right? What I would do is I would use a token because there is certainly some issues. with using it like this. So I would go to developer settings, developer developer settings. So what I would do is I would say I want to create a token, because I don't want to deal with so much of it, right? Generate a new token. It's fine, for general use, for repo scoped. So let's create any doesn't matter, right? Sign in. What is it? Confirm access. No idea. What is it? Confirm access. What do I verify in this? I have no idea. Use your password. Let me see. Token name, I would say like Medallion ETL 2026 and public repositories. Only select repositories, right? Select. I just want to use one repo. I don't want to use every repo because Medallion. Yes, I just want to use this repo, right? I don't want to use every repo, and it will expire in that time zone, right? Generate a token, right? So what I would do is you have to be very careful with the token, personal access token, I would go in here, linked accounts, configure GitHub, install Databricks. No, 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 no. I just want to unlink and delete. And now I would do it again. Personal access token, nickname token, git provider email. Okay. Save. Yeah. Token. Something of that sort. Let me go back to the workspace again and see. I want to write first version. What do you do is first make a bit of change so that as print working, right? Working so that, yeah, it's fine. What you do is cancel this and go back again to your workspace. You come in here, right? Now, if you open main, there will be a change happening, right? First version, right? And commit and push. Alternatively, select or create another Git credential using Git credential selector below. Or so how to fix? Please go to your remote Git provider to ensure that you have entered the correct Git user email. What is my email in here? Let me see. profile. It's my email. Repo, right? Medallion DB. Let me check again, right? Configure grid credentials. Too much to handle, right? Let's go back in here. Lakehouse. It's fine, it stopped. Developer, linked accounts, edit. और ऑप्शनल वो तो सही है. अरे यार नहीं. .com and I want to use the right. सेव किया. Personal access token, right? Save. Successfully updated Git repo settings. Let's try this again, right? First version v1 डालो. Just put a v1. It should work this time, but it invalid git provide the credential for repository. Git credential was used because it was selected. This is enabled in your git. Be sure to authorize a token. Configure git credential doc, right? What is this error? Let me see. I'm getting this error. Let me see what is the error I'm getting. This error I'm getting in GitHub. I have to generate so I will create another one. So not this one, sorry. Go in here, settings, developer settings, and create a new token. Just create a classic token, generate a new token, classic, Medallion DB March 2026, and what else? Right, public key, everything, right? So what do I select? All. Select all, right? Right packages, delete packages, and like. So this is something which I need to do, all of it. So I know it has taken a bit of time, but it's not bad because whenever you go through it, you will have to do all these things. And Copilot. So I've selected all of it because I don't want to take any trouble. So generate a new token, right? Now I have the new token. I'll go back to my linked accounts, edit. What I would do is I would just delete this. I'll delete this and I would just create another one. Personal access token, and I would just copy this one right from in here. So here is my email. So, and save new new token, something like that. What happened? What is it? Sorry, somehow it disappeared. Let me reopen because there was some issue with Google Chrome. I don't not sure what was it, but I don't have to worry about it because let me go in here, restore your pages. So this is done. I would go back again to my notebook and see how it works now. Let us do it again, right? V1 commit and push. This should work this time. Yeah. So I've pushed and committed my changes to my repo now. What I would do now is I will create a job, go to a job and pipeline. So what I would do is create a new job, and I would choose that notebook. For example, this notebook, right? So task name. So this is for patients something, patients ETL, or I would just name the task. And I would choose the select my notebook, which is actually in this Medallion architecture, right? In here. So I just choose this. I'm not using locally. You can use local as well. And you can put up retries, right? At most three. So you can choose the number of retries. I would try at least two times, you know. So this is something you can do at wait at 15 minutes and serverless default environment. So create task is created, right? And then what you can do is you can add a trigger in here, which is a scheduled, right? Or file arrival, up to you, right? How do you want to do it? Like once in a day, once a week, I would say like let's once a week. And I just want to select a day, right? Show cron syntax, no cron syntax. I would say like select a day, simple, advanced, select a day, right? Not every hour. I would just want to do a week and like just select it, right? You can save it in here, and also you can notify, edit notification, whether you want to notify the person whether it has been completed or not. So this is there, and now what I would do is so everything is in there. I would run this job multiple times, right? I can run it from here. So you can see the runs is happening and your job is running, right? So it will also show you the estimated time for your run. Um, and you can do it manually or like scheduled, and also notify that, oh, it has been completed successfully or it has failed. So this is like, I don't know whether it's there on the YouTube videos or not, because most of the people don't even show this. They just tell you things which I wasn't able to understand from so many videos. I made this video specifically to understand how you can schedule a job and run it. So it's still running, right? It will take a bit of time to run, as you can see. And you can rename your job, right? I'm gonna rename my job as, I would say, my so patient's health transformation, something like this, health data transformation, data transformation, and I can remove the date. I don't need the date, or up to you. You want to keep a date, you can keep a date. So it's looks good, right? Because I'm able to show you most of the things which happen. So it has completed. So it ran within 40 seconds. But jobs do take a bit longer time depending on the new data. And for example, if I go in here, right, uh, at my table, right, this is the table, right, which was my basic table. This was my pipeline. This is my schema, and then in the default, there is nothing. This is my schema I created. So what I would do now is I would just add some data to this table, right? I want to add synthetic data to this table. Can I ask assistant to do it? Maybe it can do it. Let's see. Let us see. Can assistant add? Let's go to the query, right? And still create a new node, new query editor, and uh, I would say to assistant, oh, please add like maybe 100,000 rows. I want to. This is the table, right? So what I would say is to assistant, Genie, I want to add like 200,000, 200K rows and append it to the existing table, right? And append it to the existing table, right? And append to the below table, right? Below table, below table. Can you do it? So this is a way you understand whenever there is a data appending happening to the main table, browse table, what change does it do, right? So it will. No, I don't want to read it from. Can you create them? Can you append? Can you do it using dummy data from internet, right? From any source, right? Any source. I don't care. I don't want to use the same data. I want to use the dummy data. So it will create a dummy data for me, right? So it has created a random data, right? So it's still generating the code for you. So this is not, it's like it will take you some time to even understand what's happening. Accept this, and run it, right? So like I have added more rows, and then I will run my job again. I've appended a few dummy rows, and then I would see how does it go from there. And I can use Claude as well, right? There is a syntax error. Let's see what is the error. I can use the assistant to even diagnose the error. So it's like your ETL or the data pipeline on steroids. So it sounds very different, but it's gonna edit query for you. So it's still thinking. Um, I know this video is a bit long, but again, I wanted to show things in the depth. Allow. I would allow it executing query on my behalf. Yeah, now I have added random data, and it shows what was the error. Like what I would do now is I would go again to my job. Like I have a job right in here, um, and now I would just go in here and I would run it. Right. Let's see what time does it take now. Triggered run. Right. So this is like in-depth overview of how can you use Claude along with Databricks. I mean, Claude is just there to help you, assist you, but there will be errors in your code, right? Which will happen whenever there is a schema change happening or there is a new data added with some issues. It doesn't follow the logic, then it would definitely change things. And similarly, you can see each time the data is being added to the table, the version of the table would change, right? Like for example, if I go in here, right, each table will have a new version now. If I go to the history of this, there is a new version, right? I wrote some data onto it, and now this time it has taken a longer time, right? It has taken 42 seconds, 2 seconds more. But if it has a million rows, again it will have a different time frame, right? And similarly, each table would have now a new version in the history, right? Now, what I would do is procedure cost, right? I would ask to create, I would like to rather create a dashboard wherein I can see what is happening with each patient, right? So I would say to Genie is right. Can you create a visualization dashboard for me? I know this sounds, but this it itself it takes a lot of time to even understand and do things. Can you create a dashboard wherein I can understand the data, right? Wherein I can understand the data for the below gold table, right? Below gold table. Although I should be using the view, right? Gold view, below table, right? So now, because each dashboard has a query at the backend, now can support one or more sessions. It's fine, except, and what it would do is I would see, let's run this query. Cannot be resolved, proceed user code, right? There is a bit of error. Like, let's see what is the error. So you can actually use Genie to create a dashboard for this, right? So yeah, it's like, I think there would be something, right? I don't know what it is, but again, you can use dashboard from here, right? Like you can go to dashboards and you can select create a dashboard, right? So data, where do you want to pull the data from, right? Create from SQL, up add data source, I want to use the procedure cost, right? Let's use this, right? Executing it, yeah, processing it. So this is the data I have, and now what I would do is this is done, right? So this is it showing? There's a lot of data in there. Untitled page. So you can create add a visualization filter. Data is there, and publish, right? Just publish it, right? Share data of permission without. Yeah, it's fine. You can publish it. That's fine. Only access you can admin. So what is it? That view published. Let's see what happens in the published dashboard. I have no idea, right? This is in there. So maybe what we can do is go back again to dashboard and see, right? This is sample dashboards. So if I change my data, I would have a different data dashboard, right? Like if I use my data source, which is actually a procedure cost, I would say, oh, please do it for me. Then you would see a summary in here, which would be very different, right? So unique number of customers, suppliers, this is different, right? So for example, I want to see this dashboard, right? This one. So I want to see overall supplier counts, most gold procedure cost, right? So I want to see the pie chart, or what do I need to see, most valuable revenue order by So order in customers. So you can change it and use it. I would not prefer using dashboard in here, but it's just a feature I wanted to show you, right? It's in there. So let me see. So this is there, right? I can see this. Now I would ask Genie to create dashboard, create a pie chart for me, right? Pie chart for me, right? Accept and run, right? Run. I would say this is a pie chart, right? You have to use this data for a pie chart. Yeah. So what I would do is I would just copy this query from in here and would show you the pie chart, right? This was a pie chart. Let us remove this, and I would use a query in here for this SQL. So what I would do is in here run this, and now I would go to summary because each data set would lead to something, So I guess it should be good enough to understand. You can change the parameters, you can pull in the data from there, right? You can choose the x-axis and y-axis. So this is something not part of my job today. I would not go much into the dashboard because again, it is a very different domain and it requires in-depth overview. So with this, I'm able to show you, right, how the time travel works, how you can actually use Claude to get the code and just use import it and make the necessary transform even for the errors, these sort of things. So I hope you guys like this, and if you really like it, please do support, and I would highly appreciate that. Consider subscribing and liking my video. Thank you.